Like, one thing that I hate about the internet, right? And this is one thing that I absolutely despise about being an online creator is that, so if I want to talk bad about something, I always have to preface it before, right? And we did this earlier with the thing with, like, me saying, like, I don't want to see, girls dancing that is trying to entice, that is trying to appeal to. I have to then preface that by saying I support sex work and all that. I think it should be a given. That's
You'd think so.
Right. So that's the way I feel. But it sucks on the internet that I have to always preface that, okay, I support this.
Yeah.
But, and I hate that fact that I can't just talk. I have to then be like, go through the checklist. Okay, I want to talk about this stuff. All right, cool. I got to make sure everyone knows that I support this. And it's like, no. Just,
you got to read out the fine print, right?
Because someone is always going to assume the worst of you. They're always going to assume that what you're saying is the worst thing, and it's coming from a bad place that they don't agree with. You can't say anything bad about something that they agree with because they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And it's over the internet, especially. If it was in person, it'd probably be a different thing.
Because that's the biggest thing I've noticed about speaking online on the internet and speaking to someone person to person. You online, you do have to preface a lot of things because it seems like in person to person, people are more willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And online, people aren't willing to give you the benefit of the doubt a lot of the times.
I think the other problem as well is that on the internet, it's very much a one-way conversation.
Yeah.
So you have to give your entire spiel all in one go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if they do reply back to you, then it's not going to be this conversation. It's just going to be like shooting the messenger kind of deal, right? And it's like, it sucks that on the internet, common sense isn't as common as people make it out to be.
Like, when we say bad things about Japan, right? That comes from a place of loving Japan and being here for a while. We're here for a reason, right? We love this place, and we love living here. But it sucks that every time this has only happened to Japan. In the UK, I never have to say I love the UK.
Yeah.
No.
Only with Japan do you have to say I love Japan, but like, because it has this weird stigma. But there's a lot of topics that you have to do that on the internet. If you want to say anything bad about it, you have to be like, I love this thing, but. And if you don't say that before, people are like,
then they assume you're against it.
You come from a place of hating.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating that that's what it's become, because I feel that there are so many discussions that are so fucking bloated because you have to fucking go through the checklist of all this fucking nonsense.
That is the biggest difference between us talking in a pub, where you're like, and us talking on Trash Taste, which we have the same kind of conversations. But it's like you put yourself through a buffer. Or a safety net, of the things you're about to say. Whereas I wouldn't need to do that if there were no cameras filming.
It's like putting on the seatbelt, but like there's 50. Like the whole way back with the gambling episode, right?
Yeah.
Like I never ever once thought for a second when we were doing that episode, right? And this is probably like a quite well-known episode amongst the viewers. Yeah. That you guys were addicted to gambling. Right. I know you guys. You guys are not addicted to gambling. At no point in your life would I say you
we never had an addiction.
Right. And and it was weird how, because we didn't preface that. Because we didn't say, because even though you guys were playing devil's advocate to me, and I was very much arguing in gacha specifically that there should be more regulation and that it should be like that, and you guys were just playing devil's advocate with me, right?
Yeah.
I know that you guys aren't addicted to gacha, but it was weird seeing a lot of the comments just jump to conclusions and being like, they must be addicted to gacha because they don't agree with Connor's opinion. And it's like, all right, you can not gamble and not be a gambler, but also think that gacha doesn't need any more regulation.
That's the problem, is that if you don't specify, then they think that you're on the very end of the spectrum.
Yeah. Right? It was just weird.
It's like you're not allowed to be in the middle.
Yeah. It was just weird seeing all the comments getting so aggressive about it. Yeah. Like people got angry about it. And it's happened on a few other episodes as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of happened quite recently with you, isn't it?
Yeah,
with the drip debates.
Oh my God.
Which I think the problem with that was that we were arguing two different things.
Yeah.
And
so that was a weird one. That was really weird. Yeah.
And people took me. Because I was trying to argue that you can have drip no matter how much you pay for it or how much the clothes are worth. And you were arguing that don't support fast fashion and you know try to you try to buy things or buy clothes that are more sustainable and good for the environment. And you care more about quality nowadays. And people took that as, wow, Connor and Joey have just like lost their way.
People are like, wow, Connor's so goddamn privileged. And by most metrics, I am privileged, right? I'm never pretending to be like I live it like I come from like a really far off. Yeah, I've never pretended, right? And everyone's like, it was really fucking weird, that was, because at no point in that argument did I ever argue that drip had to be expensive clothes. My main argument was that the word drip initially came from, when
high-end fashion.
When you were like the rappers who would wear drip, and it was all branded. It had to be branded. That was my argument. And at no point did I ever argue that cheap clothes didn't look good. But for some reason, the comment section took me arguing that I prefer quality clothes, not looks, quality. Like I prefer stuff that lasts longer, and I don't support fast fashion and all that. They were like, oh well, you're all these fast fashion, all the high-end ones are using slave labor anyway. It's like, well, you're just generalizing it. You're putting them all in a bubble.
Exactly.
But I never made that argument.
Right.
And it was really bizarre.
You didn't. I guess the issue was that you didn't put that safety net there.
Because I didn't say. I never. And at no point did I say drip has to equal money. And that was the problem because I didn't say that. People assumed that I was thinking that.
People love to assume.
And what's even funnier is at one point, Joey, because I watched it back, Joey joked saying, "Yeah, drip is expensive." You were joking though, right?
Yeah.
But Joey, it was mainly me people were outing. And I was like, I never even made that. I was like, what is happening? And it was like, the whole comment was like, Connor's privilege is really showing, man. He's and I'm like, what? And they're like, man, they think with a first world mindset. And I was thinking that like, I'm from a first world country. Of course I'm going to think I'm trying my best to learn and to expand my horizons and learn more about other countries. But, I'm obviously going to think through a first world perspective. Like that's because that's my world.
Right.
I don't like, is it wrong of me to have that perspective?
No, because I feel that's the only perspective.
But like, I'm trying to learn about other things, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but in the case with that argument, it's very difficult to bring in a different perspective right, without it making no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the argument is that yes, do you support sustainable sustainable fashion? But a lot of people from third world countries can't being able to support sustainable fashion is in itself a privilege because a lot of people can't do that, you know. And some people do at the moment have no choice but to buy cheap fashion because they can hardly afford anything else.
That's completely okay.
I would never hold it against anyone. When I was buying those, I mentioned like when I was buying the suit that was like £30, right?
Yeah.
That was because that was all I could afford.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't get, there was no other option. I couldn't even like entertain the idea of getting a suit that cost 100, right? But obviously, when you're doing better and you have more income, I do think it's more of a responsible thing to do to try and buy things more ethically.
But that's the thing, right? It's like in that episode, you never once said,
it's hard.
Fuck your income, buy expensive clothes.
And then there was I remember seeing this other argument of like, well, they just overprice the clothes, etc., etc. And sometimes they do that.
Yeah, they do.
But also, it's I've had this debate coming from doing voice acting a lot, which is a job that takes 1 hour. Most of the time, and you can get paid like $10,000.
Yeah,
most people would argue that's absurd. You should never get paid that much for 1 hour of work. But it's what goes into being able to do it in 1 hour.
Yeah.
The reason why I could do that in 1 hour is because I'm trained and I can do the job professionally. I know how to use the equipment. I know how to do everything in a way where you couldn't just take someone.
You get the quality out of it, right?
You get somebody who can do the quality that you want within 1 hour in a professional way. And it's the same way with clothes to me. Like if I want a suit, right?
Absolutely.
If I am in a good enough position to be able to afford a suit that is a nice suit, and I can get it made for me specifically, right? And get it because I have the problem that I have short legs, massive ass. Okay. So pants don't scale like that. They scale wide and down, right? So normally the pants I have to get like fitted because my ass is too fucking
You're just
thick.
too dummy thick,
I'm
dude.
too dummy thick! And so like that was always a fucking challenge, right? I always had jeans that were either too short or too tight, right? And I still have that problem because you can't get tailor-fit jeans. It doesn't they probably can.
Without paying egregious amounts of money.
I don't know where they are, but suits are really easy to get fitted.
Yeah.
So I think as well, like, so if you were to get, like, let's say you go to a tailor, right? You're paying a tailor who knows how to do it well. He's done this for like 20 years. He's experienced his whole life. He can promise you that he'll do a good deal. It's worth the extra money if you have the money and you know you can support a local business if it is one, right? I think if you, again, this is only if you have the luxury. Like, it's certainly a privilege to be able to do that. And I would never ever get in anyone's case for not doing that.
Well,
you know
I mean,
if you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, right?
Yeah.
Fuck everyone else.
Right, but that's the thing. It's like, what I don't understand is the criticism towards like how you spend your own hard-earned money. It's like, it's like, I earned that money myself. I'll do with that money however I please. It's like, leave me alone.
Okay, that's a good point as well. Like,
it's like, you're not taking care of my finances. It's like, why you care?
Listen, the only questionable decision I make is my JoJo collection, right? I'll give you props for that. That's it. But everything, compare us to other YouTubers. I think we're pretty fucking normal.
Yeah, I think so too.
Where is our Lambos? Do you have a Lambo gone? No. When I rent a car, you know what car I rent?
What?
A Toyota Yaris. I love the Toyota Yaris.
That's a great car.
It is a great car.
The mileage on that car is fantastic. It's perfect size. It's not too big.
We don't even own cars.
No, I don't own a car.
I don't even have a license. I take the fucking train every day, dude.
I hate this thing where people are like, they judge us for what like we're fucking doing with our lives, and it's like, bro, just. Like, I don't come to your house and be like, really? Hot Pockets? Cringe, bro. You could have got cheese puffs. Like, no. Like, what is this? I don't know.
Yeah, because like going back to what you were saying about getting paid for like doing an hour of voice acting, getting paid like a certain amount that voice actors do get paid. And I give this example to like every artist, right? Or anyone working in that kind of field, which is you go to then you have to ask the client then, okay, so would you rather pay the same amount for me to do this work in 5 hours or in 10 hours to get the same amount of work? And if they say yeah or no, then you can say that, okay, so I'm being punished for doing my job well, efficiently in this time period. So you'd rather pay someone else to do the same work for more time, even though you're paying them for like you're paying for the same amount of work, but you're paying them to do it less efficiently than you.
Yeah.
But like the perception is that because you're doing it this well, you're giving them the same amount of work for a shorter period of time that you're charging that much, and that's just how the industry is. You know, you're not just paying for hours worked in. You're paying for skill as well, and skill is part of the pricing that you pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, you know, when it's these big advertising companies, in what realm is it fair for your voice to be plastered over, say, McDonald's all over the country?
Yeah.
And you get
it's a branding
$100.
issue as well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's they're using your voice, so you have a certain right to sell that, what it's worth, right?
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of jobs like that, like, you know, like art design, graphic design,
modeling,
anything. You know, it's if it's although like stuff like voice acting, I 100% admit, like, it seems very easy from the outside, but to be able to do it consistently and perform what the person wants and be able to adjust and be able to do it all professionally is very difficult.
And be able to do it over and over again. We get called back, right? Build a reputation.
I've still got a long way to go, man. There's people who are much better than me who can do it. But, you know, at the end of the day, you want to make sure everyone's getting the right rate. And it's one of those tough decisions. Money is always one of those topics that is so polarizing depending on what's going on, you know, and where you're from and your opinions on it. Like, you know, I've had people close to me who have been like very critical of me earning money doing what I do.
Yeah.
And they've been like, well, I do X thing. Like, I do X thing that's more contributing to society. So I don't think it's right that you would get paid more than me. And that whole argument I absolutely despise as well.
Yeah, because it's like, what can you say to that will get them to understand, right?
Yeah, it's like if you work in like medicine or something, and you firmly believe that you are doing something more important, I would argue you are doing something more important.
Yeah. You are.
But that's just business. That's how it is.
That's just how it works. Like, we don't make up the rules.
I think there are jobs that are far more important than the jobs that we have now.
Oh,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
The fact that teachers get paid what they do, I think is tragic.
Tragic. Fucking atrocious.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And I think they should like get much better pay.
Yeah.
But
it's also like, you got to do what you got to do. Make your own bag. You know what I mean? Like, the world doesn't do any favors for you.
That's not something we can do anything about.
Man,
right?
I will advocate for change, and I will do what I can from my position. But also, bro, this economy's rough. you know it's bad when it's like, yo, what the fuck? That YouTuber can afford a house?
Yeah. This guy just makes videos.
What world are we in where like now being wealthy is you can afford a house?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like I'm trying to secure my future because I don't know how long this job lasts.
Exactly.
I'm trying to do well while I can, you know. Yeah. And I would never criticize anyone who is trying to do what they need to do to succeed in life.
Yeah.
You know?
To a certain extent.
If you're not fucking over somebody, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know, like as long as you're not actively hurting or ruining someone's life, you do what you got to do to get by, and you do what you need to do, man. I firmly believe that whatever you want to do, don't hurt anyone. Go for it.